Hello guys, welcome back to this channel. In this video, we will be talking about Lagna Lord in the 7th. We have 3 examples here. All of them have this Ascendant Lord in the 7th house. There are 12 houses in the Vedic astrology chart, and each of these houses have a lord, because this lord is based on the sign which is occupying that house. For example, if you have Leo in the 1st house, then Sun is lording your 1st house, or the Ascendant, or the Lagna. So wherever the Sun is placed, that is very important. That will show your direction, your intelligence, your choices in life, where you are going, basically. So if you have Lagna Lord in the 7th house, this video will definitely resonate with you. And we will have 2 charts, 2 actors, but there will be something special about them, which is depicting this exact position. The first one we could define as a little bit extreme, but it is all for the learning purpose, because these extreme cases, they help us to understand those patterns, where to look, what to check, and so on. And also, I must admit, I was really in that trying to prepare something for this video. Then I've changed my mind. I found another topic. So it was a big preparation. And I think that we are preparing for some new format. Something will change. This is my intuition. And I'm also considering, should we go more by this synthesis approach, where, for example, we are going through the one chart and in very general view, and more from psychological perspective. So maybe we will go through some biographies, some interviews, and try to understand how those people were going through the chart on more subjective and psychological area. This would be more synthesis. Or you rather prefer more analytical approach, when we are going a little bit statistics, like today's we are taking 3 charts, same yogas, and we try to find the difference between them. It's more mathematical, a little bit more detailed, a little bit more advanced. So let me know in the comments. You can just comment S for the synthesis and A for the analytical. Let me know what you prefer more. So now let's go to the first little bit outline, and then we'll go to these 3 examples. So in that Lagna Lord in the 7th house, we are talking about the situation where my Ascendant Lord is going to 7th house. Ascendant, the Lagna, and the 1st house is all about me, about my body, which is the Mercury, and about my intelligence, my computer, which is the Jupiter. We can also divide it as the Sun, which is showing the health of the physical body, and also Jupiter, which is showing my choices in life. So when the Lagna Lord goes to the 7th house, we can see on the very abstract level, it's like I'm leaving myself, because the 7th house is the farthest point, we could say, from the Ascendant. So it may show situation when I want to escape from myself. This could be escaping from the family. This could be escaping from the city I was born in. I don't like it, or there may be other reasons like war or other such situation. It could be happening also on the psychological level, like I'm escaping from myself. We know that we are now, the social media is nicely preparing the tools to distract ourselves. We are all the time escaping from ourselves. Or it could be also escaping from some form of image which was created in the society. In the work, it could be some thing which people are used to, and they expected that you will be that Arudha, that tangible model, and they don't want anything else. So sometimes people, when they want to change, there is a lot of opposition to that, and people don't like this. They are expecting something, and they want it to be forever like this. So also there are situations when the person is escaping from that model, from that image in the minds of people. There may be also other things like satisfying others. I'm not thinking about myself. I'm escaping from myself. I'm not authentic with my emotions. I'm trying to please others. It could be in a relationship or with general people. And also it could be situation where I am trying to find myself. I'm lost. There are situations when I don't know what I want. I don't know myself. So there is a big gap between my conscious me and what is there more to know. So therefore, the whole life is about filling up that gap. So there are many situations, and we'll try to understand 3 of them. 2 will be quite similar. I'll do a little bit different. Now, after this theoretical basis, let's see the examples, because this is most important. Many people are saying, oh, you have this in the chart, so this could be many, many things, and you need to see the rest of the chart, right? There is this, I've seen on many channels, these astrologers are saying, and also including me, I'm also guilty of that we need to see the rest of the chart, right? So what that means, in this video, we'll also be trying to go through this process of seeing the rest of the chart. We have the Twani Yoga and how the rest of the chart is modifying the result. First one is, it's interesting because there was a time that this typecasting was so extreme that this person was not known by his original name, but by the name of his main role. And even in the newspapers, they didn't give his real name, but they were calling him by the James Bond. So the first series he was playing in the first 7 ones, Sean Connery. Very interesting chart. I even went through his short autobiography to understand these nuances of his chart, and they are very, very nicely there. For example, his first job was as a milkman, selling milk, and this moon and the Venus in the 10th house. 10th from moon, which is showing the career life, is Mercury. There we have also Mars and Saturn. At 16, he left everything and went to the Navy Army. This Mars and Saturn is showing that. And to be clear that, yes, this is that yoga. This was when he was 16. So Jupiter is ruling at that time of 16. And also the Dasha was Venus, Jupiter. We are using here the Rahu Vimshotri because Moon is in the Rahu sign and Rahu is at Makaraka. And at 13, he dropped the school. It was the Dasha related to Ketu, and this is 4th Lord in 8 from its placement, so it's like afflicting the 4th house of the standard education. It was also Rahu period, which is 3rd Lord, and in the 2nd from the 4th, so this is also afflicting the 4th house. And then he dropped the Navy, he came back. Again, he was a little bit for this milksman, and then he was going for construction jobs, very steel-related, some form of Saturnian or hard jobs. We can see that, again, this Saturn is there. Even if we look at the chart very properly, we will see that Saturn is very much connected to death here, because it is in the Marana Karakastana, in the Navamsha is in the 12th house of death, and in the Dashamsa, in the chart of work, it is in the Aries, so sign of Mars, and also in Marana Karakastana. So Saturn in the 1st house is called Marana Karakastana. Marana is dying. The Saturn in Martial sign, this connection of Saturn and Mars, this is called Yama Yoga, which is also about the death. And in the Venus-Saturn, it was the polishing caskets, the coffins. So very much related to the death. And so we see how the Saturn was there. Also, when the Saturn is in the 1st house, it's a kind of Raja Bhanga Yoga, which can mean I'm resigning from job, I'm going somewhere else, I'm resigning from something. And in that Venus-Saturn, he resigned both from the Navy and also both from all those jobs. And he then, in the next Antardasha, was already, through also interesting things, through first bodybuilding, because Saturn is also a bodybuilder, very much focused on the body. And through that, he first got the connection to go to the theater, from the theater to the movie industry. So very interesting bridge, we could say. All that is there in the chart very nicely, but he was very much, if you read that biography and we want to find some challenges related to career life, there would be, there were some affairs, some problems with relationship with the woman. He also got not so good image related how he treats women. There were some interviews, all that. But there is this situation when he was fed up with that image of James Bond. He wanted to expand, he wanted to try something else. And this is interesting because there was time when he was trying something else. Some projects were flops, some were even successful, but somehow he got all the time going back to those roles of James Bond. And this is quite interesting how he tries to escape from this image, from this typecasting, from himself, from the image which was created. And it was so big, it was so like a torture for him, how it was written, that they were shooting some James Bond in Japan, and there were a mob of fans was following, chasing him. In that also Saturn Antardasha, which is very interesting. And he was this moment, it was like he was fed up with this role and again tried to escape and find something else. Other thing also, because we see Lagna Lord is in the 7th house, so he is leaving his place and he is going to the Navy. So we know that this is that exact yoga because it happened in a Venus-Jupiter. So he was leaving his place and he tried to the career in a completely other place. So he's like leaving the city. This is also quite important part. So these two are definitely there in his chart. Now, some of the important things, we see that Jupiter in the 7th house is having 0 Dikbala. It's called Dik Shunya. Shunya is 0. It means that everything which is connected to this Jupiter is like directionless, or there is no knowledge, or one can feel lost, right? So this is also adding to that feeling. From 7th Lord Mercury to Venus, we have Lagnas, like one house. And also, Alto Venus is debilitated. Mercury is bringing that Nicha Banga from the moon and from the ascendant. So Altu, his attitude towards relationship could be disputed, right? We have this Lagna Lord with the Mars in the 7th. Whenever Lagna Lord is placed, this is like ball of fire, so it can afflict those people, signified by those houses. So maybe it's not best for those partners, for those relationships, but the karma in relationship was not so bad. And therefore, in his second marriage, he was like married for 20 or more years. So therefore, that is one thing. The second point is that Jupiter, here the Lagna Lord is quite strong in the Navamsha. Therefore, he got this, we could call success, because according to Brihad Parashara Hora Shastra, if Lagna Lord is in the 7, it can give either spiritual people or a monk, someone who will be like a beggar, right? So financial difficulty, or it can give someone who will be a king, right? So very extreme situation, and that depends how this planet is strong. So for those successful people, somehow this Jupiter will get the bala or the strength. The other thing is that when we are talking about losing life or throwing away life, throwing away the chances, I'm, we could say, giving up, I'm throwing my life away. This could also be negative from the perspective of the mental health, or giving away the ethics, throwing away my life, then this could also, the Shubhapati, dispositor of the moon, will be very important to check. And in this case, we see that it is also very strong. It is Mercury exalted in the 10th house, in the Bhadra Yoga. So therefore, we can say that this ethics or that psychological, we could say, build up the general quality is very good. Now we are going to the second example. Now we have a woman, also actress. The common thing is Saturn in the 1st, Mars in the 7th house. Some say that we had Jataka, that this is the yoga for madness, or at least some kind of exhilaration, as they say in our tradition. So we could say here that both of these people were very ready to do some stunts. So the risk, the excitation, the excitement to do some risk or do anything exciting could be there. We also have Lagna Lord in the 7th house, right? Aries Lagna Mars is in the 7th. But to the Jupiter, from Lagna Lord to the Jupiter, we have 7 houses. It's not so bad. It's a good sambandha. And Jupiter is in the first house, which is quite good. Now we can see the first thing which is catching our attention is that the 7th Lord, Venus and Mars, they have parivartana. This is in the 8th house. So the marriage situation definitely may not be the best, right? We have this Venus, Mars, and parivartana between 7 and 8. And that's true. She had 4 marriages. Some affairs were there. The first marriage, I think, was like few months only. So definitely that was there. But it's not so extreme as the third case we will see. So there was some personal challenges, but career life and the general success, general, we could say the holding life, right? Lagna Lord, like beginning something, holding life, being authentic and fulfilled. All of these were quite strong. Also because of the Navamsha. In the Navamsha, this will be very important to get the final answers, how this will manifest. But before that, let's see also the other things. The dispositor of the moon is the Venus, right? It's not the best, but it's in the Navamsha Lagna and very strong. And we have also Kendra, the benefics in the Navamsha Lagna. This is very much protecting the person. And in this chart, this is very important. And therefore, we can say that it will not be like fatally wrong, or there not be some extreme situations. There will be some problems, but definitely there will be we have this 2nd and 12th, right? Sambandha, so definitely some divorces will be there, but nothing super extreme. Also, this Lagna Lord in 7th house is related to the career life because 10th house from the moon is loaded by the moon itself, and moon is joining that. So therefore, we can say that all of this looking for self or escaping from the self will be related to the work. And she, as you can guess, also Shannon Farrell was escaping from the typecasting, the same way as the Sean Connery, and she was playing in the horror movies, and also he got this, we could say, the role of the damsel in the difficulty. And it was very hard to find another roles for her, and for actors this could be a very problematic situation which can really restrict the success. So therefore, with those yogas in the chart, we can see that this may be a problem. So when we say look at the rest of the chart, basically we will have 2 ways to do it. One is gluing, the second is leveling. The gluing, how I call it, is the analysis of the yoga itself. Look what is happening to the yoga. The leveling is look at the other parts of the chart which are relating to that same area, to that same thing. For example, if you are here analyzing the ethics or morals or choices in life, then look at Jupiter or look at the Navamsha at these points which are related to those areas of life. They may be not connected to that same yoga, but they will be connected to that same area. Therefore, I call it leveling. And in this case, for example, we can see that in Mothers of Relationship, this chart is quite problematic, and this will be reflected in the Navamsha. But when it comes to ethics, when it comes to success in the career life, the Navamsha and the Shamsa are giving the vote. Yes, this is a very good chart. There are no problems. We have green light. The doors are open. When it comes to the morals, of course, we have Subhapati, Venus and Mars yoga, and the 7th house has this benefic afflicted, so one can be a little bit cruel. But because it's related to the Venus and in the Navamsha, this is mostly related to the partnership. So we know that she had some affairs, there were some relationships, and that was the part in which this manifested. But it was not like hurting others or outside this, we could say, context, as we will see in the next chart, in the 3rd one. This is extreme case. This person killed with his girlfriend, her parents, and then 6 other people, and there was a huge manhunt, and they were finally found in Douglas, in the Wyoming, and was sentenced and killed. And she, because she said that it was she was just trapped, she got some years. First it was lifetime, but then she was released, I think, in 76. We also have her chart with chart rating AA. So if you want to see this, then maybe I will include that in the description for those who want to analyze those charts. This will be ready reference. This chart is completely different. Lagna Lord in 7th, of course, it's there, but we can see that before this we have malefics, and after the Jupiter we also have 2 malefics. So this is changing a lot, right? So this is the gluing part, right? This is how the yoga is different. Now when it comes to leveling, so seeing the other parts of the chart which are related to that same thing. So let's see relationship, let's see the, for example, morals, right? We also have benefic afflicted in the 7th house, which is quite problematic. Dispositor of the Lagnesha, Jupiter. This may be seen what will happen to the body, where the life is carrying you. And this Jupiter, it has 2 yogas, one with Rahu, mutual Graha Drishti. Very important. When there is Drishti and when there is Graha Drishti, mutual Graha Drishti, this is almost like a conjunction. Very, very important yoga. And here it is Jupiter, Rahu is for killing. It's the murder yoga. And similarly, Saturn and Jupiter. Saturn and Jupiter is killing and get killed. So this is what happened to him. And he has this parivartana between Jupiter and Saturn. Of course, not all of us with this yoga will have, because we will know that Jupiter and Rahu will stay in those same signs for many months. But therefore, in the Vargas, in the Navamsha, in the other charts which are related to these mothers, these planets will have yoga with these specific places. And here we have this situation in the Navamsha. Now the moon is in the 7th house. So Shubhapati now, which is showing the psychological state and the morals of one, is Jupiter. And Jupiter was in those bad placed yogas. Lagna Lord is Mercury, not well placed in the Navamsha, in the 12th house of death. And it has this trikona of Mars and Saturn in the 8th house. The Saturn in the 8th house also has this yoga of Saturn-Jupiter, which is showing that killing. And 8th house is second from 7th, which may be related to the family of a spouse. If you see his girlfriend chart, whose parents were killed, she has Sarpa Yoga. Sarpa Yoga is problematic yoga in the Rashi, Navamsha, and in the chart of parents, Dvadashamsa. Very interesting. This Dvadashamsa is completely afflicted in her chart. So this is a very, very important chart to study. So you can see that Lagna Lord here in the 7th house, this is the Badaka, and Anitya Karaka, the dispositor, was that Jupiter, which was also showing his morals, totally afflicted in the Rashi and in the Navamsha, showing the death and killing. We can also see how the yoga itself was blocked by the malefics, also Venus in 6th house, and how the Jupiter, the planets after Jupiter, were also blocked totally by the malefics. Well, now you can see how this chart completely differs from the previous 2. We have the yoga, which is totally different, the gluing, right? The malefics before and after, this Mercury and Jupiter. We have this Shubhapati, Anitya Karaka, and Varesha. All of these 3 are all pointing out about that murder and this affliction of this Rahu, Jupiter. Also, this is the Bandhana Yoga, right? Rahu in the 5th and Jupiter in the 9th, which is showing that one will end up in jail or will be somehow other form of the freedom restraint. So this is what happened in his life, and the extent of that, as said, will be shown by the Varga. So just to recap, Lagna Lord in 7th house. This means I'm not at my place. I'm somewhere else. Am I traveling? Am I escaping from something? Am I trying to get away from my typecast? Is it related to the career life? Now we got the old answer, look at the rest of the chart. And now we know it's a gluing and leveling. So first we need to look exactly at the yoga. It is related to 10th house from the moon. Then there is an option that this is related to the typecast or some form of expectation other have from you. So you are escaping from one Arudha to the other. if this is connected to the 7th Lord Karaka, Venus and Mars, this may have to do with relationships. Then also you need to see the leveling, the others levels of the chart, which are related to the same thing. So Lagna Lord in 7th can mean that you are throwing away your life. This could be finances, this could be addictions, this could be a lack of Jupiter. So somehow you are not with yourself. And therefore, look at the Jupiter, look at the dispositor of the moon. This may also be related to people-pleasing, and you are not trying to find what is good for you, but, or at least what is good for both sides, to find some compromise, but you are defining your happiness based on the happiness of other people. This may be unhealthy, and therefore this may be related to some boundaries problem, and Venus and Mercury affliction will be showing that. All of these extreme cases needs extreme yogas in the Navamsha with the points related to trauma or afflictions or death or jail, things like that. And we have seen that that third example was completely different. The yoga was different. We have seen those malefics, and we also saw that this leveling, the dispositor of the moon, Anitya Karaka, which is Pakesha, dispositor of the Ascendant Lord, and also the Varesha, all of them were pointing at that Jupiter yoga with Rahu and Saturn, which can show extreme situations like this, especially if confirmed by the Navamsha. So we got this synthesis part and also the more analytical, more advanced part. And as said, let me know in the comments which one you prefer, what you would like to see in my next videos. And also thanks for being here with me on this channel, and please don't forget to hit that thumbs up. It really helps me with make this video more viral on this platform, and this doesn't cost you anything, but this really helps. Join our Discord community. If you'd like to have your consultation, then hit me up with this email here. And if you are still into those nice chart examples, then please consider watching this one.